Welcome! This Git tutorial is for my AP Computer Science students and also the robotics team members who are interested in using Git to organize the code for the robot, but anybody is welcome to follow along. So why are we using Git? Git is a version control system, so it lets you track changes that you make to your code base in an organized way. This is really useful if you're trying to work with a large number of people, but it's even useful if you're just working by yourself. Maybe you've made some changes to your code base that have broken everything, or you've wanted to substantially rewrite a lot of the code to change how it's organized, and you've had to stop halfway through, and then maybe you forget what you were doing the next time you come back to it. In cases like that, you may really wish that you had a way of reverting to an old working version of your code base. Some people invent their own haphazard systems to do this, so you might copy your project folder and name it something like My Project Old, or My Project Really Old. Git offers a more professional and a more powerful way of doing this type of tracking. These kinds of problems only get worse if you're trying to work with other programmers on the same code base. I've seen a lot of students email code back and forth to each other, but then you have the difficulty of keeping track of which is your current version, and if two programmers have made changes to the same file, how do you merge those changes together to get the most updated file? Git also provides a system for managing those kinds of difficulties. Finally, there are public repositories such as GitHub that let you share your code with a larger community of developers, so that other people can clone your project, hack on it a little bit, submit changes to you, or create projects of their own based on yours. In lots of Git tutorials, there's kind of three parts to them. One is they'll tell you some practical details about how you actually set up your computer to use Git. So you download some software and you configure it. Two other things that you're going to learn how to do are learn the actual Git commands. So those three commands there: git init, git add main, git commit. Those are the actual commands that let you record snapshots of your work so that you can revert back to them, or so that you can give them to other developers to incorporate your changes into their project. But just learning the commands isn't enough. You need to have a mental model of what are those commands actually doing. If you don't actually understand what the commands are doing, I guarantee that at some point, probably soon, you will end up in a situation where Git doesn't do what you're expecting it to do, and you feel stuck and you don't know how to get out. So here's the game plan. We're going to learn in a couple of small steps. First, I'll show you how you can use Git locally, just on your own computer, not connected to GitHub, not connected to the internet, to save local snapshots that you can revert back to if you need to. Then I'll show you how you can use a command called branch so that you can safely create new features or refactor your code, and then merge those changes back in when they're complete and you know that they work. Third, I'll show you how to create a remote repository so that you can share your code base and allow others to edit it. That's where you're going to create your GitHub account and make sure that it's configured properly so that your computer can work with it. And finally, I'll suggest one possible workflow. A workflow is a process for using Git that you can use in a large group for adding features and making changes and fixing bugs. There are several popular workflows, and I'll show you the one that we're going to use in the robotics team. Good luck, and I hope this will be a helpful series.